Hey booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I have kind of an unusual video today. There are going to be some numbers at first, but I promise we are going to talk about books here. And it is all about books, but I've seen some booktubers do these really fun videos where they go back and watch a haul video and then talk about how many books they have read from that haul, how many books are still unread, if they DNF'd something and unhauled it, those kinds of things. But I don't do a lot of haul videos on my channel because, as you can see from behind me, around me, there's another 3 bookshelves on the other side of the wall. There's 2 that you can't even see in the camera. We have a lot of books. And so I try to be really focused on reading what's already here, what's already in the house. On the same note, though, I did just recently order some books from eBay. So I can already tell you by the end of the year, all of these numbers that I'm going to give you will have changed, and that's okay. But this is just this moment, 5 years of hauling books. And I really, like I said, I don't make a ton of haul videos. There's only 22 on my playlist. I will put this one on the playlist as well, but yeah, there's only 22 haul videos. I realized that a lot of times in a Friday Reads video, I may just show you a book that I picked up at a little free library, a book one of you have sent me, a book Jason has given me, and I don't count it as a haul video because it's one, tops 3 books, you know. And so I did try to be really careful and go through and look at what we've accumulated in the last 5 years and which books, you know, maybe weren't in a haul video, but I've still acquired in the last 5 years. Again, it gets a little tricky because sometimes somebody sends a book to Jason, but I really want to read it. And sometimes I've read a book and I want to get rid of it and Jason wants to read it. And so, you know, it's a joint library. This library would look very different if it were just my books. And I also included gifts that Jason has given me. I've got a birthday coming up, so I'm assuming I'm either getting books or movies for my birthday this year. But yeah, so right now, this moment, these are the numbers. Now, the one thing that I did not include is I have acquired, and you can kind of see the edge of them, these kind of coffee table books. I have acquired a lot of those books in the last 5 years from my parents, and I did not count them because they're really, you know, not books that like I will probably read cover to cover. Most of them, or at least most of the ones I've acquired, are for, you know, they're art books, and so I have them for the images themselves. But so if we rule out the coffee books, okay, I have hauled at least 130 books in the last 5 years. So that's about 26 books a year, which is, again, an interesting number because technically I should be able to read 26 books in a year. And I have, of those 130 books that I've hauled, I have read 56. So that would give me a percentage of 43% of the books that I've hauled I have read. However, of the books that I have read, and so it would be books that I've read and hauled on this channel, because I'm sure I've given away more books than this, but of the books that I would consider falling under the term haul, which could be gift from one of you, gift from Jason, books I bought, all of that. I've read 15. Now, I know I've given away more than 15 books in the last 5 years. However, so if we look at it as that I've hauled 115 books since I've given away 15 of the books that I've read, then it's closer to 48.7%. So that's like, oh yeah, like it's almost half. I don't feel too bad about that. It was really fascinating though to rewatch my haul videos though and see, what I have acquired. And again, some of the books it's borderline whether it's a Jason book or a Kelly book, that kind of thing. And like I said, Jason does buy me a lot of books, but some themes emerged, and I actually felt really good because the things I have planned to read for the rest of the year, a lot of them are things that I have hauled. So that was positive. Like, I'm currently reading Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, which I have hauled, and the 2 other books by her that I own, I've already read. So that made me feel good. Let's see. I've also hauled some books that I've already read. I didn't count them as read because I haven't reread them since I've hauled them. I hope that makes sense. But I got Agatha Christie's Nemesis, which is my favorite Miss Marple mystery. I tend to not keep Agatha Christie books. I tend to read them and pass them along, or check them out from the library. But I was very concerned about them altering some of Agatha Christie's books, so I wanted to buy this just to make sure that I have what Agatha Christie actually wrote. And again, this one is Nemesis. I love this book so much. Kind of going to the other end of the spectrum, I got this copy of Ovid. I botched the name a lot, so I'm just kidding. You guys know what I'm talking about. And this one I read in college, not this edition, but because I probably would have held on to this edition. It's so beautiful. But I've read so much Shakespeare, which is another thing we'll get to, but I've read so much Shakespeare since I've been on BookTube that I really felt like this just needs to be part of our library. Like, I'm not sure when I'm going to reread this or if I'm just going to, reread it in parts. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But yeah, and I really enjoyed this when I read it in college. And I'm sure the reason I got rid of my copy was because I didn't fathom a world where I would be so curious to return to it, but I am nonetheless. So from there, going on to Shakespeare, one of the first books, in a very early video, I mainly unhauled books at little free libraries. And in the video, I find a copy of Romeo and Juliet, an old school copy. This was the movie that we watched in high school when I was in high school. This was the version, so no Leonardo DiCaprio. But in the video, I actually put the book back in the little free library, and I was like, no, we already own, well, we have a collected works of Shakespeare, and then we own another individual copy of Romeo and Juliet. So it's a little bit ridiculous. But then later, off camera, I went back to that little free library and took this because it's just, it's a sentimental thing, really. Yeah, so, there were also, in addition to the plays, there were a lot of books about Shakespeare. Soul of the Age is one of those, which I read earlier this year. These are a couple of the books that I've actually bought. I haven't bought very many books that I've hauled, and very few new books that I have purchased in the last 5 years. But these are 2 used copies of Shakespeare's play. I don't know how well you can see. That's Richard III and Coriolanus. I think I also got Measure for Measure. These were each $2 a piece, which I felt like was a pretty good deal. So yes, a lot of Shakespeare, a lot of Shakespeare, in the last 5 years, which is cool. And that's definitely like a change from my pre-booktube life, reading Shakespeare every year. Another author that came up quite a bit was Louise Erdrich. This is La Rose. I'm pretty sure Jason got this for me maybe last Christmas. I'm not sure. I do want to read all of her adult novels. So that is one of my goals. And yeah, so I have this. I just need to get this. But I have accumulated 3 off the top of my head I can think of her works since I've been on BookTube. And another author that I was like, oh wow, I've accumulated a lot of his books and have not read them. So that's John le Carré. And I love John le Carré. I love Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and The Spy Who Came in from the Cold. Those are just brilliant books. I've read The Honorable Schoolboy. I have not read, is it Smiley's People and Legacy of Spies? It's probably right behind me, up there on top. But yeah, so I want to read more John le Carré going forward. Another book that was a very early book that I hauled on my channel is the biography of John le Carré by Adam Sisman. And I think you can tell why I haven't read this book yet, because it's huge. So yeah, but I am a big John le Carré fan, and I can tell because I've hauled so much John le Carré since I've been on BookTube. So it's just a matter of like being intentional and, picking him up and deciding I'm going to read one of his books, at least one of his books a year, that kind of thing. It's also true with Trollop. Like, I need to read more than just one book in a year. And finally, the other book I have to show you is one of the very first books I hauled on my channel that Jason got me, and this is Light Years by James Salter. Now, Jason got this for me on a trip that he took to London. There was a special Booker event taking place, and I just remember, I remember it so well. Like, he was telling me all of the authors who were going to be there, and I was like, you should just go. You're never going to be able to see all these people at the same event ever again. Like, it's not going to happen. So I'm really, really glad that he went to that. He was only supposed to buy one book on the trip, which did not happen. But anyway, so yeah, I have had this book, and it was even on my little library card here. I was looking all over the library for it and I couldn't find it, and then, oh, it's on my cart because I need to get to it. I need to read it, which brings me to, what am I gonna do with all this information? What are my plans, like, going forward? And so I have this cute little journal. and that I actually colored this in. Both sides. But I thought, you know what? As I haul books, I should be writing them down. And then as I read them, check them off. But just to keep a better record of books coming into the library, as well as at least being read. I mean, obviously, like, there's definitely some books that I've hauled that I've read and loved, and they're not leaving the library. And I'm sure there are more books that I haven't read that, again, maybe they don't have a home on the shelf. Maybe they're alone over here, like Mary Barton, in front of the Gaskell books. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to go through what I wrote down from my videos and my own memory, if you will, about that, and keep track of what I've hauled and start keeping track of what I've read. And I am definitely hoping to get to light years before the year is over. So we'll see if I can do that or not. But anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Do you keep track of the books coming into your library and the books going out from your home library? Do you think I've hauled an insane number? Are you surprised by how many books I've hauled? Because I was a little surprised that it was that many. I would like to know what you think. Like, do you think it's a good idea to keep track of the books that I have hauled and what and as I read them, like, mark them off? Is that a good idea, or is that going to make me feel pressure or guilty? Like, what do you think? Because I haven't written anything down yet, so and I may have to go and revisit a couple of the videos to make sure that there was one title that I counted it as a haul, but I don't remember. I don't remember what book it is, or so I'm gonna have to hunt it down. And that was one of the things that was actually really fascinating about watching all the haul videos, is I was like, oh, I've forgotten about that book. I forgot I read that. So, or I forgot I bought that, or it was gifted to me, that sort of thing. So, and like I said, you know, in a few weeks, numbers are all gonna change, because I'm gonna have a haul video for you with used books that I purchased online. I hope they're in good condition. But anyway, so yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. And like I said, and what you do as far as, you know, keeping track of hauls and you know, books read and unread and that sort of thing. What is your system? And does it work? Does it work for you? So anyway, I look forward to hearing your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, of course, you can always leave me an emoji or give this video a thumbs up as a way of saying hello. I do appreciate it. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.